What's up, everybody? My name is Justin, and welcome back to another episode of Whiskey Tears. On today's video, we're doing the new Elijah Craig Toasted Rye. Okay, so if you guys are new here, I am a huge fan of Heaven Hill, pretty much across the board in general. Not many of their releases have I ever not at least liked a little bit. Pretty much everything I like a lot of it, but this is one of their newer ones, and this one's intriguing. This is the Toasted Rye. It's coming in at 94 proof, original straight rye whiskey finish in toasted new oak barrels, and they actually do have the mash bill available online. It's a 51% rye, 35% corn, and 14% barley, so it's going to be more up that traditional bourbon and just leaning slightly rye instead of like a 95.5 rye or something along those lines. So I'm excited to get into this one today and rank it on the tier system. All right, let's go ahead, pop the bottle, get the nosing straight out of the bottle. Like milk chocolate immediately. Milk chocolate is like predominant coming out of the bottle here. Like a milk chocolate and a sugar-coated like almond or hazelnut or not, maybe even peanut, like those Christmas nuts that you get like at the like in the cities on the side of the road, or if you go to a mall, if there's any malls around and they make those like candied nuts a little bit, kind of like that nose. And super milk chocolate. So it smells pretty good coming out of the bottle. Let's go ahead and pour it into the glass and have a pour. All right, so this bottle's been open for a few days now. I did get it recently for $60, so not overly expensive on this one, but it is a 94 proofer. It's not like an Elijah Craig barrel proof or anything like that. Hey, before we get into the video today, do me one big favor. Hit like, hit subscribe. It's absolutely free for you, means a ton for me. If you really want to help support the channel, get a cool badge next to your name, and get access to every video earlier, make sure you hit that join button down below for $2 a month. Thank you for 1,500 subscribers now on the channel. All right, nosing out of the glass. Ooh, a little bit more of a, definitely the nose that I had on there originally, but like a, almost like, you know when you have the, what's it, the mules, that like copper smell that comes out of those a little bit? It's almost like drinking a mule. Can definitely smell the barrel char on there, kind of that toasty, like smelling burnt oak a little bit. Definitely still the nuttiness, a little bit less of the chocolate coming out of the glass than I was getting out of the bottle. I was getting a ton of chocolate out of the bottle, a little bit less out of the glass. Maybe a hint of like a real light tobacco in the background too. There was something else in there. I was trying to figure out what it was. It might be just a hint of a real light tobacco. All right, smells pretty good. It's 94 proof. Price is pretty good. It's from Heaven Hill, Elijah Craig, one of my favorite distilleries, if not my favorite distillery out there. So all signs are pointing towards good, but we got to drink it and see if it's going to live up to it. So cheers, everybody. Ooh, a lot spicier. A lot spicier on the palate. Definitely like a sugary cinnamon, not just like a dry cinnamon, but like a sugary cinnamon, a little bit sweeter than I was expecting, probably because it is that 51% rye and like 35% I think corn it was. You know what it is? It's like a spicy milk chocolate if that was around like some kind of nut. Like a spicy milk chocolate around some kind of nut, a hint of wood in there, a little bit of caramel, but no bitteriness at all. Sometimes with a rye, you can get like a ton of that rye spice. You don't really get the rye spice on this. You're definitely getting more the influence of the toasted barrel and the sweetness of the corn. And then there's like a overlay of spiciness to it, probably coming from the rye, but it tastes more like a cinnamon sugar or baking spices or something along those notes. It's actually got a little bit of viscosity to it. Ooh, that sip was really good. That sip's a bit sweeter, actually. I let that one sit on the tongue for a little bit longer. It's definitely like that sugary coated cinnamon over a nut with some chocolate and all that, but it does have a little bit of viscosity on there, more than I would have, I think, expected for something that's 94 proof. It is light. It does drink light. It's very easy to drink, but it's got some really good flavors on it. I don't mind the flavors at all. It's just a little bit light. I wish it was a little bit like denser in the flavors. It's just like very light flavors, but you know, it's a 94 proofer, so what can I really expect? I get so much of the chocolate on the nose, but It's just a little bit on the palate, not nearly as much. But it does have that little bit of viscosity, which gives it like just a little bit of a creamy feel. But creamy that's like not a thick cream, like maybe like a whipped cream, but without those flavor notes. Instead, it's all the flavor notes that we've been talking about so far. All right, so honestly, I wasn't sure what to expect coming into this one, especially coming off of, I just did the Heaven Hill grain to grass rye recently in a review. If you guys didn't see that, make sure you go check it out. And that thing is like rye with a hint of rye if you were in a room made of rye. This is a completely different expression of a rye whiskey. Obviously, this is only 51%, but those toasted barrels really give it a nice influence overall, and it's a nice sip. I really enjoyed it. I think it could be more dense, more complex, a little bit thicker, a little less, just light on the palate. It's very light. It would make a super easy drinker. I could see myself enjoying sitting outside, like in the cool fall weather with a sweatshirt on the front porch, just rocking and sipping on one of these. I would have absolutely no problem. So on the tier system today, let me do one last sip before I officially rank it. Yeah, it's solid, especially for the price of $60. I can't complain. I think I'm going to officially put it on the B tier today. So let me know what you guys think. Have you had the new Elijah Craig toasted rye? I know the toasted bourbon was a huge thing like a year or two ago. You could almost not find it, and then it was almost like allocated, and it was like $160 a bottle. Those scents have cooled off and are back down to normal. There was a bottle of that sitting right next to this at the store I was at, also for $60. So this is, I think, perfect price point for it, right around $60. I'd be happy paying that all day, and it's officially going on the B tier today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you for your next drink.